Hey, what's going on, everybody? For everyone that is watching one of my videos for the first time, I just want to let you guys know that I'm going to do another giveaway this weekend. And if you want a chance to win this shirt or book, just subscribe to this channel and good luck. Now, let's get today's video started. And I'm just going to assume that most of you saw the updated plot lake video that I posted the other day. So just like I've done before, I'm going to break down each one of these episodes and I will discuss what is likely to happen or what seems to be proven by the leaked set photos. So let's begin. Season 7, Episode 3 opens up with Jon arriving at Dragonstone, where he meets Tyrion on the beach. They shake hands and talk about Daenerys Targaryen. So, we absolutely know this is going to happen. Unless you've been hiding underneath of a rock lately, there have been a massive amount of photos that have came out as Game of Thrones films its 7th season. And in those photos, there has been one of Jon arriving on the beach that is being guarded by Dothraki soldiers. And when Jon gets off the boat, he is greeted by Tyrion Lannister. And of course, I would assume that they're going to talk about Daenerys. She will more than likely be the one who asked for Jon to come. And Tyrion will probably briefly tell Jon what they've been up to and what Dany's intentions are now that she has this huge army and has arrived in Westeros. So there's really no dispute here. The photo pretty much speaks for itself. Jon and Tyrion will definitely meet on the beach next season. And I've mentioned this before, but I will say it again since there's so many new people here. Personally, I can't wait to see this scene because I love both of these characters. I've been waiting for these two to share screen time again for a very long time, because their scenes and dialogue together during Season 1 was some of my favorite scenes in the entire show. Even though those scenes weren't very action-packed, I just thought the things that they discussed was very interesting. So I'm definitely looking forward to see how their relationship continues to grow now that they may be working together. Now, next, it says Arya has a dream and rides upriver to find Nymeria. And I just want to say, in my heart, I believe we will see Nymeria again. I want to see Nymeria again. But I kind of have this bad feeling that this may not happen. And I think it would be complete bullshit for the show to never explain what happened to this direwolf. I feel like they have to bring her back. I just hope they don't bring Nymeria back just to kill her off like they've done in the past. But I think there's only going to be 7 episodes next season, so they should have at least the same amount of money to spend on these episodes. But it's just going to be less episodes, so you think they'd have more money per episode next year. So Dan and Dave, if you ever hear this, please bring the damn direwolf back. They are so important to the Starks and who they are as a person, and their connections with their power. So if Arya does have a dream, I think it may be that connection between the two that sends her off to see exactly where she is at. But I highly doubt we will ever see the wolf pack. They barely spend money for one direwolf, so it's not likely they're going to spend money to show 20 or 50 or 100 of them together. But it would be incredible if they did. Could you imagine Arya pulling up at Winterfell on a horse, surrounded by 50 wolves? That'd be gangster. But anyways, let's move on. Dany is watching her dragons fly when Jon approaches her. Dany tells Jon to bend the knee, but he doesn't, and instead tells her to send her dragons north to fight the White Walkers. She doesn't believe him, but Tyrion says Jon isn't crazy, and you should definitely hear what he has to say. Okay, one thing I know for sure, Jon is not going to be bending the knee. That's for sure. I think he spent way too much time with the wildlings, so I don't see him ever bending the knee again. But I am hoping we get a scene between Jon and Dany where Jon talks about Maester Aemon, who was Dany's family, obviously. I would like to see Jon tell her about him and how great of a man he was and his vision for the future. I think that'd be pretty cool, especially since the actor Peter Vaughan, who played as Maester Aemon, has now died. I think that would just be a nice thing for them to do, in my opinion. But Dany probably wouldn't believe there are White Walkers out there. We know Tyrion definitely didn't believe in them during Season 1. But I think so many people at the Wall was warning Tyrion about them that I think he was probably considering it to be true. He just really didn't show it. But I think once Jon tells them about the threat, and once he says he came into contact with them face to face and was nearly killed by one, I think Tyrion would believe him. Tyrion and Jon began to respect each other during their time together at the Wall. And Tyrion will know he has no reason to lie about something like this. So I do believe if the conversation does come up, Tyrion is going to lean towards believing whatever Jon has to say. and I think he would want to help him in some way. But we know Dany has business to take care of when Dragonstone. She's wanted this her whole life, and now that she is in position to take back what she believes to be hers, I don't see her abandoning her position to go north just yet. But we shall see. Okay, next it says Euron captures the Sand Snakes in Ellaria. Euron kills Obara because she was annoying him. He forces Nymeria to strip naked and touch herself. Euron then poisons Tyene, and he forces Ellaria to watch. After that, he drowns Ellaria for the Drown Gods. He then tells his men that the Ironborn will have even more glory when he takes the Reach in the Western Lands. Alright, so we definitely know from the spoiler photos that Euron captures the Sand Snakes. But I actually think this is going to happen earlier than Episode 3. Reports have came out before that this battle happens during the very first episode, before Dany reaches Dragonstone. And we can see from previous photos that Dany is on Dragonstone with the director who will do Episode 1. Therefore, we know she will land on Dragonstone in the very first episode. So I think Euron will capture them before Episode 3, actually. But regardless, he's definitely going to capture them, obviously. But some of this other stuff that is said to take place sounds like bullshit to me. I do not think Euron will be the one to kill Tyene and Ellaria. In these photos, Euron is marching the girls through King's Landing, and I believe he is taking them to Cersei to hand over to her, that way they can form this new alliance. And I think once Cersei gets her hands on the Sand Snakes, she's going to be the one to have them killed. They set up Cersei's daughter to be killed, so I definitely think Cersei will be the one to return the favor. But I do like what they said here, when it says that Tyene will be killed in front of Ellaria, because I actually said the same thing in a previous video I made when these photos first were released. I said that I think Cersei will kill Tyene in front of Ellaria for payback for killing her daughter. So I do think this is going to take place, but I think Cersei will be the one handing out the death sentences. She could have Euron do it, I guess, but I feel like Cersei's going to do much worse to the Sand Snakes. I think Cersei will have the Mountain do very bad things to them. And if you watch my other video about this, it will make much more sense. But I want to move on from this for now because I already went over it before. So check out that other video to where I go into much more details about what's going to take place right here. Next it says, Jaime returns to King's Landing, and Cersei tells Jaime she is pregnant. Jaime then tells Cersei that Tyrion did not kill Joffrey. Alright, now this sounds completely out of order to me. The report came out that Jaime battles the Tyrells during Episode 4 next season. And I'm pretty sure the director is going to be Matt Shakman, who's going to do Episode 4 and 5. And he was seen on set there during these battle scenes. So there's no way Jaime's going to be able to return from this battle in Episode 3, when it's going to take place in Episode 4. So a scene like this could take place, but it's not going to happen in a third episode. It would have to be at least a fourth or fifth episode. But I could see Jaime telling Cersei that Tyrion did not kill Joffrey. We already know Jaime doesn't believe it anyway. He did help Tyrion escape from jail while he was awaiting his execution. And if we do get a scene where Lady Olenna tells Jaime that she was the one who killed Joffrey, then Jaime would definitely want to let Cersei know. Because Jaime does not want to see his brother die, of course. And I know Tyrion did kill their father, and Jaime did say he would kill Tyrion for doing that, but I personally do not believe that. I think all of Tywin's kids hated him to some extent, and Jaime loves Tyrion dearly. Jaime knows Tywin and Cersei have wanted Tyrion dead for a very long time, and for that Jaime has always felt bad. So I think Jaime will understand why Tyrion killed his father once they are able to speak. But this is just my opinion, of course. But I do not see Jaime ever killing Tyrion. No way in hell. But anyways, it says, Jorah leaves Oldtown to head to Dragonstone after hearing Daenerys is there, so he tells Sam bye. Now, once again, we know this is going to take place next season. There have already been spoiler photos from the set that showed Jorah on the beach with Dany. But once again, the timeline is off. This is not going to take place during Episode 3. From spoiler photos, we know that Jorah will be there while Matt Shakman is directing, who once again is going to be directing Episode 4 and 5. So this does take place, but it will be much later than Episode 3. And Jorah is wearing long sleeves, so we don't know for sure if he cured his grayscale, but I do not think Jorah would risk lying to Dany again and risking her health by showing up with the disease still. And I only mention this because some of you have asked about that. So I doubt Jorah would come back while still having grayscale. And next, it says Tyrion and Davos come up with a plan to meet Jaime to discuss Cersei's surrender. Now, from spoiler photos, we do know that Tyrion and Davos go on some kind of a mission. And I could see Tyrion wanting to warn Jaime as well. I don't think he'd want to see Jaime end up getting killed by standing his ground, when Tyrion knows at some point Dany is going to have to attack, whether Cersei wants to surrender or not. So I could see Tyrion wanting to at least give Jaime a heads up about what's to come. But I'm not sure this mission is to see Jaime, because in the photos, we know that Davos and Tyrion come back to Dragonstone with Gendry, who then leaves with Jon, Davos, and Jorah. So I guess they could kill two birds with one stone, so I'm not going to rule this out. But I can't guarantee that Tyrion and Davos go to King's Landing specifically to see Jaime, because when they come back, they do have Gendry with them. So I'm not too sure about this. But anyways, next it says Dany and Jon are on the beach when she asks him to pet a dragon, which he does. Okay, so we have another timeline issue here. There is a photo of Jon holding a fake dragon head, which could be for a scene of him petting the dragon, but the director standing in the background is Matt Shakman, who will be doing episode 4 and 5. So this will not happen in episode 3. But I also have an issue with this scene, because I think this is actually complete bullshit. Smoke and mirrors. I do not think this is a legit scene. I think they did this just to mess with people, because they knew about all the photographers around, and they were leaking everything. And there's something about the look on Dany's face that tells me they're just fooling around. I do think Jon is going to meet the dragons for sure, but I do not think this is going to be that scene. But once again, that's just my opinion. And last but not least, it says Theon lands on the shore of Dragonstone. Jon tells him that if he didn't save Sansa, he would kill him. Theon then tells Dany that Euron captures his sister Yara and took control of the Ironborn fleet. Okay, so we definitely know something like this happens. And I made a video about this a long time ago, when I first saw this photo of Jon and Theon together on the beach. It's very obvious that Jon is angry with Theon, more than likely for turning his back on Robb and holding Winterfell hostage, plus killing Sir Roderick and the two little farm boys. Jon definitely wouldn't put up with this shit. But Jon does love Sansa, and would appreciate that he got her away from Ramsay. So I can see Jon allowing him to live, but I do think Jon will punish him in some way. He may just slap him around, or demote him even more. I'm really not too sure, but I don't think Jon lets him get off with just a scolding. But nonetheless, this scene will take place. But obviously, guys, I had several issues with this episode. Most of it is completely out of order, and some of the Euron scenes sound a little ridiculous, even for a Savage. But I guess I'm just going to have to wait and see if any more evidence comes out to confirm any more of this for me, or at least the timeline. But luckily, we know who is directing which episode, so thanks to that, it is a little bit easier for us to piece this stuff together. And even though some of this stuff does seem likely, and some of it is confirmed with photos, it's just in a complete wrong episode, because we see the director standing in the background in a lot of these shots, and we know for a fact he is not going to be directing episode 3. So some of this stuff can happen, but just not in this episode. But anyways, guys, comment below and tell me what you think about all this stuff. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let me know, but keep it classy, guys. Either way, thanks for taking the time to listen. I do appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Have a good day. People here, personally, I can't wait to see this scene because I love both of these characters. I've been waiting for these two to share screen time again for a very long time, because their scenes and dialogue together during Season 1 was some of my favorite scenes in the entire show. Even though those scenes weren't very action-packed, I just thought the things that they discussed was very interesting. So I'm definitely, unless you've been hiding underneath of a rock lately, there have been a massive amount of photos that have came out as Game of Thrones films its 7th season. And in those photos, there has been one of Jon arriving on the beach that is being guarded by Dothraki soldiers. And when Jon gets off the boat, he is greeted by Tyrion Lannister. And of course, I would assume that they're going to talk about Daenerys. She will... Hey, what's going on, everybody? For everyone that is watching one of my videos for the first time, I just want to let you guys know that I'm going to do another giveaway this weekend. And if you want a chance to win this shirt or book, just subscribe to this channel and good luck. Now let's get today's video started. And I'm just going to assume that most of you saw the updated plot lake video that I posted the other day. So just like I've done before, I'm going to break down each one of these episodes and I will discuss what is likely to happen or what seems to be proven by the leaked set photos. So let's begin. Season 7, Episode 3 opens up with Jon arriving at Dragonstone, where he meets Tyrion on the beach. They shake hands and talk about Daenerys Targaryen. So, we absolutely know this is going to happen. More than likely be the one who asked for Jon to come. And Tyrion will probably briefly tell Jon what they've been up to and what Dany's intentions are now that she has this huge army and has arrived in Westeros. So there's really no dispute here. The photo pretty much speaks for itself. Jon and Tyrion will definitely meet on the beach next season. And I've mentioned this before, but I will say it again since there's so many new